All right, today we are diving into one of the most intense, most confrontational chapters in the entire Gospel of John. This is a high-stakes theological showdown that builds and builds until it ends with a claim so shocking, people literally reach for stones. So first, let's set the scene. We're in Jerusalem, and it is the Feast of Tabernacles. This is a huge, week-long celebration, and the city is just buzzing, absolutely packed with pilgrims from all over. The energy is electric. Now, a really key part of this festival was the nightly ceremony in the temple's court of women. You have to picture these 4 massive golden candelabras just lighting up the entire temple complex, a brilliant man-made spectacle of light. And you have to keep that image in your head because it is crucial for what's about to happen. Right into this very specific light-drenched atmosphere, Jesus is about to make his first really provocative statement. He's essentially going to hijack the most powerful symbol of the entire festival for himself. Okay, so let's get into it. People are celebrating this festival of light, and Jesus stands up right there in the temple treasury, the exact spot where this ritual takes place, and he makes this astonishing, personal claim. See, this isn't just some nice, poetic metaphor. He's looking at the temporary ritual light of the festival and saying, that's nice, but I am the real, permanent, life-giving light for the whole world. And what's amazing is that in the original Greek, the phrasing is even stronger. It's an emphatic double negative, like saying you will absolutely never walk in darkness. And the language here is just absolute. The Greek for light, phos, means divine reality, God's truth. And scotia, darkness, isn't just ignorance, it's this profound spiritual blindness, this active opposition to God. So right away, the stakes are set on a cosmic level. So as you can imagine, that first claim about being the light of the world, well, it kicks off a fiery debate. And the conversation quickly pivots from light to the very meaning of truth and what it really means to be free. Now, to our ears, this sounds like a beautiful, inspiring promise, right? But to his audience, this landed like a slap in the face. They immediately fire back, saying, hey, we're descendants of Abraham. We have never been slaves to anyone. So why on earth was this so offensive to them? Well, the key is right there in that first phrase, if you abide. In the original Greek, this isn't about just agreeing with an idea for a second. It means something much, much deeper. The word is meno, and it means to remain, to dwell, to persevere in something. So this isn't a call for a fleeting moment of belief. It's a call to a deep, lasting, loyal commitment. And that call to a new kind of loyalty, that's what really gets the conflict going. And this table just perfectly shows the core misunderstanding. I mean, they are on 2 completely different wavelengths. The audience is thinking about their national identity, their political status under Rome. For them, freedom is tied to their heritage, their bloodline from Abraham. But Jesus just completely redefines the whole conversation. He says, no. True slavery isn't political, it's being in bondage to sin. Yeah, as you can probably guess, that did not cool things down. The argument just gets more intense, shifting from freedom to sonship, who your father is. They claim Abraham and, by extension, God. And Jesus comes back with this stunner. Your real father isn't defined by DNA, but by who you act like. It's a direct, devastating challenge to the very core of their spiritual identity. So all of this builds and builds to the chapter's most shocking, most explosive moment. After they accuse him of being a Samaritan with a demon, they push him for a final answer. Just who are you? You can just feel their frustration. They ask him, are you greater than our father Abraham who died? They're trying to force him to place himself somewhere in their history. His answer, though, just shatters their whole timeline. This is the line that just stops the conversation cold. And the power here is all in the grammar. Notice he doesn't say, before Abraham was, I was. He uses the present tense, I am. It's a claim to exist completely outside of time. And to everyone listening, that phrase, ego eimi, was unmistakable. It was a direct echo of God revealing his name to Moses at the burning bush, I am who I am. This wasn't a claim to be ancient or wise. This was a clear, unambiguous claim to be the eternally existing God of Abraham. And their reaction proves they knew exactly what he was claiming. According to the law in Leviticus, the punishment for blasphemy was stoning. The fact that they immediately tried to execute him on the spot shows, without a doubt, that they heard his I am as a direct claim to be God. So why does this ancient fiery argument still resonate so much today? Well, it's because this one chapter hammers home some of the most profound theological ideas that have shaped belief for centuries. I mean, at its heart, this chapter is a masterclass on the identity of Jesus. It redefines salvation not as political freedom, but as spiritual freedom from sin. It presents truth not as a set of facts, but as a person you know. It totally reframes what it means to be a child of God and shows the entire universe locked in this great spiritual conflict. And because this chapter is so incredibly rich, it makes sense that different Christian traditions have really keyed in on different aspects of it. Reformed thinkers often emphasize that bondage to sin and Christ's deity. Catholics might connect the story of mercy to the idea of reconciliation. And the Orthodox tradition really focuses on Christ as that eternal, uncreated light. Which leaves us with this final, really provocative thought. In this chapter, freedom comes from knowing the truth. But what if that truth isn't something you can just learn from a book or possess like a fact? What if truth is a person you have to follow, to abide in? What does that change about everything?